Failed with major repairs. Technical repair report for bidding. Restoration with permit by a fully licensed vendor. Engineer oversight. 3 site visits. Certification with owner liability in lieu of a load test. Load test still may be required by the AHJ.
Fire escape inspection summary video. This is Inspector Alan Toll. I'm here at, this is a load test pass-fail inspection. This is not a repair report. We are here to tell you what the problems are, and where they are, but not where every condition is, and recommend some remedies. This is a galvanized fire escape, 4 stories, 3 balconies. There's a ladder to the roof. Everything is in relatively good order. The galvanized may be coming to the end of its usefulness, so it might be recommended to prime it with galbite and paint it, but not seeing any incidents of internal rust. It's interesting in that we have a combination of new hex head bolts, hex head nuts, but no hex head bolts underneath. I'll show you those. So in order to improve this for a load test, which is not ready, we're not ready to approve this for a load test since it's original hardware, but we want to make sure this fire escape is structurally sound and that it's been kept painted or galvanized to show that there's any evidence of maintenance. Doesn't appear to be much maintenance being done except for the fact that these new bolts. However, fire escape is in relatively good condition. So some of the options are, in lieu of a load test, we can replace the existing hardware, and I would recommend replacing these nuts and bolts. They could probably use a little bit of tightening up as well. Or we can, or an opinion affidavit can be provided with liability release from the city and fire escape engineers that the fire escape is ready for its intended use. So I'll mention below the main issue that we do have with the fire escape is the ladder cable is broken. I was able to drop it down because that's how I access this, but other than that, let me go through and just show you what we've got. Again, these bolts, even though they look in pretty good order, you can see it's pulling, something is making this, allowing us to pull away here. So we can't verify, we would need to verify that these bolts back to the building are adequate and working properly. These bolts are really just for the balcony, I'm sorry, for the handrails, because the balconies are supported by cantilever beams, and I didn't see any issues with those. There doesn't seem to be any masonry or any problems such as that. But top rail railing again is in good shape, starting to get some surface rust. Some of these internal pipe rails, they're open on the end. Again, being galvanized, I don't really notice any internal rusting, but there is some surface rust that would need to be repaired. Either replace it or sand it, prime it, and paint it. Same thing through here. It's really good and solid. I don't have a problem with the railing itself. It is a single line rail. We would discuss with the AHJ whether it should have an intermediate rail. The ladder to the roof is punched through. As you can see, it's in good order. Again, spot painting. There is some rust occurring at the bottom rung of the ladder, but again, we can't certify these bolts, but the ladder appears to be solid. But you can see original hardware, new bolt, new nut, but the bolt is a square head, so that's kind of interesting. We would suggest caulking around any of the seams back to the wall, prevent any water infiltration. Some of the slats are loose, not a major issue. The stringer clips appear to be in good order, again, beside the fact that of the original hardware. So coming down, again, here's a condition of original bolt with a new hex head nut. All of the treads are welded treads from underneath, so in order for us to certify that, we would need to have a new clip and new bolts. Provide a new clip here and bolt it to the side of the stringer and the top of the tread. But again, no rust jacking. When we would suggest caulking the top of these treads where the tread meets the stringer. Coming down to the second platform, pretty much the same condition. Again, verify these connection, but appears in relatively good order. This one isn't really pulling away. The railings are good and solid. Again, we've got these original nuts, but I'm sorry, new hex head nuts, but the bolts underneath you can see are original. So here's the connection back to the building. It's in good order. The concrete surrounding it there are no incidents of any rust jacking or decay or deterioration. This railing could use some stiffening. Depending, I would suggest a new bracket coming across here, but again, everything, the clips at the bottom are in good order. You might want to inspect those for any rust jacking to separate that connection, but it doesn't seem to be any incidents of rust occurring. Again, being galvanized, we usually are worried about rust occurring inside these railings, but there is rust that's happening on the bolt here, so probably best just to take this out and make sure there's no internal rust, caulk around any of these connections. Again, looking up at all these connections appear in good order. If anything, it would just be mostly replacing bolts. No deterioration of any members that I see. So coming down to here, we are missing a slat here that should be replaced. A few of the slats are lifting. I would suggest also that we tighten up these bolts. Just have a good look at them. Some are rusted. So it's probably a good idea to replace these bolts. Again, connection back to the building. I don't see any issues. Again, spot painting if desired, or full paint if desired, but just kind of clean up, scrape away some of the surface rust, but not much of an issue. Again, railing's loose. Let's tighten that up. This connection back to the wall from the railing is a little suspect, but if anything, we can put a new clip or new bolt through and negate that existing bolted connection. Again, the stringer clips look in good order. Now, this is the major issue right here. Obviously, the ladder is going to require some service. It does go up and down, but there's no locking mechanism. Obviously, a new cable will be needed. So it hasn't been serviced for a while. It hasn't had its annual inspection, but you can see some of these, few of these slats are lifting up, and so we want to make sure that everything is tied down and addressed. Just needs a little bit of tender loving care, and maybe replacing a few bolts, again verifying some of these connections. But I'll do a quick video from down below, but that's going to complete my video inspection of this fire escape. If you have any questions, my name is Alan Toll, Fire Escape Engineers, 866-649-0333.
Load test still may be required by the AHJ. Failed with major repairs. Technical repair report forbidding. Restoration with permit by a fully licensed vendor. Engineer oversight. 3 site visits. Certification with owner liability in lieu of a load test. Fire escape issues. Photos represent what the violations are, not where they are or how many exist. Pass-fail inspection, not technical repair report.